Okie dokie peeps. So, is gender dysphoria a requirement for being trans? Hopefully most folks out there by now have figured out that no, it's not a requirement. I know that, everybody has their opinion and everything on this. The trans community, the medical community, all this. Really, to me, like, saying something like that, like, you have to have gender dysphoria, which is like an intense feeling, by definition, to be able to qualify as being trans. It feels just a little bit gatekeepy to me. It feels like one of those things that the healthcare system has put out there to try and make some people feel othered or less than or something like that. Because, certainly not everybody has gender dysphoria. Some people have euphoria. Some people are just kind of like, neutral to everything. They just know they feel better if they express this way or if they look this way or whatever. And all of those are valid. Everybody has reached an understanding and realization of their own body and experience differently than you have. Certainly trans people obviously exist. It's just a difference of human development, such as if someone has left-handedness. Okay, do those people not exist? We haven't proven that, XYZ causes left-handedness. No, it's just they developed that way. Bloop. So did trans people. Bloop again. I just don't understand why it's so hard for folks to get by that. I will say, like, for people who don't do trans medicine much, the qualifier of gender dysphoria at least gives them a claw hold on, like, I guess, providing this type of care. I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I know that whenever you try to get into this field, it is overwhelming how much the term gender dysphoria gets shoved in your face. And, whenever I first started studying, how to provide this care, that was it was over and over and over, gender dysphoria. It's insane. So I can certainly see how a lot of healthcare providers who, maybe mean well and they just kind of graze some of the educational material just so that they would be able to provide the basics for trans folks. I can see how they might think that gender dysphoria is something that every trans person has rather than something that can be experienced by trans people but doesn't necessarily have to be. I don't know. It just feels so basic to me to just extend people a common courtesy of believing, how they feel that they want to move through the world, because it literally doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. It just is their life, and they got one, and they may as well live it however it makes them happy. They're not hurting anyone. Come on. Big sigh. Anyways, so whenever I go to prescribe hormone therapy or do labs for it or whatever, when I'm going to have to interact with other healthcare entities such as pharmacies or health insurance companies and stuff, I have to choose a diagnosis to show why I'm doing things. And there are all kinds of cute ways to kind of get around saying trans, but sometimes there is no way to get around saying trans except, through the code, which the most common one is F64.9. That gets used a lot for adult trans care. And I really hate that because it medicalizes being trans when it's like, a couple decades ago, okay, they thought it was like an illness of some sort or, mental stuff going on, and they've learned better since then that this is, again, just a difference of human development. And they've moved away somewhat from that, but it's still on the books, and you still have to have something to put down to prove to an insurance company, for example, why this care should be covered by them. And, there's just not much way around saying, hey, I want to give hormones because the way they are right now isn't making them live their best life. Insurance companies are not exactly in the business of helping people. Like, they're there to make money. And so if I put something like, oh, a patient just needs it to live their best life, they're going to be like, So anyways, so I do not require like someone to have gender dysphoria for me to provide care for them. No, that's no. If someone comes to me and they say, well, you know, I've known something was different, but, you know, I've never had this depression or anything, I don't feel like I have dysphoria, I'm going to say that's fine, you know. Now your diagnosis, unfortunately, for medications and stuff like that is still, has to be down there, but diagnosing someone as trans is so strange to me. But again, like I said, it's like being left-handed. Ain't nobody out there diagnosing people being left-handed and stuff to be able to get like hand surgery or something, whatever. Anyways, so if someone comes to me and they say, well, I have euphoria, or I just know that something's different and that I'm happier this way, that's fine, that's good enough for me. Legally, I still have to put down that, you know, diagnosis code or whatever on their paperwork, but you know, our clinic is very private. We don't have an EHR system, the medical record system, that's shared around or anything. It's private only to our clinic. But anyway, so back to the gender dysphoria stuff. So no, you don't have to have gender dysphoria. That's just, I really believe that's kind of a gatekeepy thing that healthcare has put in people's heads. Come on. Anyway, so sorry this was kind of rambly. It was just, I've been asked that a couple of times lately, and I've been asked it several times in the past, and I was just kind of like, I want to let people know out there, especially people who might be considering coming to our clinic for care, that, you know, if you don't identify as like a binary trans person, or, you know, whatever, like some non-binary people are kind of like, I don't know if I want to go in because everybody wants you to be a binary trans person and you have to do like full dosing. No, that's not a thing at our clinic. We do all kinds of dosing based on whatever your goals are. And also, we do take into consideration that not everybody is going to have gender dysphoria. Like, it's just not a thing that everybody has who's trans. Anyway, so, I mean, I know people out there are gonna disagree with some of that, and that's fine. Like I said, it's all opinion-based, really, for now, because, they just keep kind of wishy-washying it with some of the standards and everything, and they'll go back and forth on stuff, so we don't have, well, we do have a couple of things that are kind of concrete moving forward that does admit that gender dysphoria, while may be present, is not always in some of the standards of care and guidelines now. So we are kind of moving forward a little bit, making some progress. Woo! It's never as fast as you want, but hey, what are you going to do? At least we got something, right? So hope everybody's having a good, good weekend or whatever it is by the time I put this video out there. I will see y'all later.